Welcome to APSE's annual seminar here in Oxford, where 160 delegates from England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales will share ideas on how to move beyond austerity. This city is obviously famous worldwide. It was recently announced that Oxford University once again tops the World University rankings. But with that fame comes a huge extra population, putting pressure on resources. Oxford Town Hall is the perfect place to have these conversations. And to hold the annual seminar here was the dearest wish of the late National APSE Chair, Councillor Van Coulter. The magnificent Jacobean interiors are a reminder of civic pride and the importance of local government.
It represents what people thought was important in those days. And I think local government really mattered. And so the building where it took place, where decisions were taken for local people by local people, were full of beauty and architectural value because they saw it was really important. I think that really perhaps is appropriate for an APSE conference.
Discussions, both formal and informal, are very open and honest. People want to share their experiences, they want to learn from each other, and they want to be able to take that experience and improve and further develop the services that they provide in their own organisation.
So Simon, as outgoing chair of APSE, I'm very interested in your observations, particularly because it seems to me that it's never been more important than to be a member.
That's exactly right. Historically, local government's done its own research within its own organisations. So the council, an individual council will have its own team. Now, those teams have all gone. The first thing you do in austerity is you get rid of your policy advisors. Effectively, you can't focus on your frontline services. So APSE acts as a place where councils can come together, commission research collectively, and then share best practice.
The funding formula from Westminster was fine when we were in a good, positive, upward growth situation, but that formula certainly doesn't work and doesn't benefit authorities when the funding is decreasing.
Archie Dryburgh, you're the new national chair of APSE. What are your priorities going to be?
Members of Parliament, members of the Scottish Parliament, members of the Welsh Assembly actually see councils as a problem, when in actual fact councils could actually be part of the solution, taking some of the austerity measures forward and ensuring that we have a real hard look at how we deliver services locally to local people.
I often pick up a dozen new ideas at this seminar, and those dozen new ideas will have real impact in saving the citizens of St Amsterdam, where I am the leader, some money and delivering better services for the pounds that we spend on behalf of the public.
And so it's a case of if they can't feed kids at home, we have to be responsible for those kids through the day. That's just from my perspective.
We asked our delegates two pertinent questions. Firstly, what is their greatest concern?
How are we going to manage cuts in the future when we're already cut back to the bone?
It's this thing about how the reduction of staff, but we're still expected to do the work, and we are doing it, but it's actually how long can we continue to do that and still provide a good service?
How can we do it without losing all of that experience that officers have on the front line?
It's definitely income generation. We want to look at how we can improve our commercialisation across the Highlands and provide a good service, but also generate some income to supplement that.
There are still councils that are reducing their budgets, restructuring and getting departments into shape to develop the business side, but they're not moving fast enough, and some of those authorities might not get there quick enough by 2020 when the base revenue budget is withdrawn.
We're still having to find more money to save more money, and that really has a terrible impact and effect on local services.
One of the interesting things I heard was about the highest proportion of sickness is related to stress, depression, mental health, and actually I think there will be more of that if we continue to have cuts.
Funding cuts, housing and the rising costs of social care are the hot topics this year. But unsurprisingly, the subject of Brexit is never far from people's minds.
Where we are in Flintshire, we're quite lucky really, and we're already planning ahead for life after Brexit, such as we've got the Deeside Business Forum, We're engaging with the Mersey Alliance there. We're part of the Northern Powerhouse. We're talking to Cheshire East as well about what opportunities there could be there.
And it is an opportunity for subsidiarity, that old word from the 1990s, which means the passing of powers down to the closest body nearest the people, and that generally is your local council.
The second question we put to our delegates: what's been the most valuable learning?
I think there's been some really good speakers already this morning. I was really interested in what Zina was saying about providing evidence and benchmarking information.
Learning from the best practices that other councils and tried and tested ways.
I think the most valuable thing I've heard so far is that all local authorities are feeling the same way, and actually all local authorities are dealing with it really well.
We're all in the same boat, we're all working with less money, and it's how much we can do and get communities involved from the start.
I find my colleagues within APSE are very cooperative and they willing to share information, good or bad.
So it seems that the age beyond austerity marks a new era of collaboration and partnerships. And that's one based on evidence.
I think it is that collaboration, that working together, that coming together of local authorities, the thinking, not actually just amalgamating councils, just the thinking of where you've done a good job, the benchmarking, the research.
I get two sides of A4 and I put 10 star points down, and I try and go away with 10 ideas that were practical suggestions that I can put into place in the council that I'm a member of.
What we are seeing is local authorities working together to come up with long-term plans for their areas. And that, again, has been quite a sea change.
You're part of that solution. Let's move forward here. Let's get everybody back together around the table. Let's find ways of ensuring that we deliver those high-quality services that local government actually does.